22. It's 6:30 p.m. and the meeting is now called to order. Can everyone please stand for Pledge of Allegiance and prayer? I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Loving Heavenly Father, come to this hour asking for your blessing. Help us as we gather together. We pray for guidance in the matters at hand. We ask that you would clearly show us how to conduct our work with a spirit of joy and enthusiasm. Give us the desire to find ways to excel in our work. Help us to work together, encourage each other to excellence. Ask that you watch over our first responders. Ask that you watch over our administration and each other. As the challenges that we face in the entire year, for higher and farther to be the best that we can be. We ask these in your name.
Amen. So we have a quorum. All counselors are present. First item on the agenda is election of president and vice president of the Lawrence Common Council. We have several votes to include president, vice president, and committee appointments. We're going to do them all by ballot, so be patient with Kathy. She has a lot to pass out this evening.
Print your name if I can't read your scribble.
Print and sign, please. Okay, I am opening up the floor for nominations for the office of president.
Madam President, I would like to nominate Lisa Chavis.
Okay. Any other nominations for president? Okay, seeing none, nominations are closed. We'll get your ballot here momentarily, or do they already have it?
Yeah.
You already have it,
For
so if you
president.
could write your name and sign for Kathy if it's not clear. Good, thank you.
You're organized. You're organized.
Yes.
Check. It's rough being an election officer. Nine ballots were cast, 9 for Lisa Chavis. She is the continuing president.
Thank you, everyone, fellow counselors, for your vote of confidence, and it's my honor and a privilege to serve, so I appreciate it. Looking forward to an awesome 2022. Next, we have Vice President.
Madam President,
Yes, Councilor Wells.
I'd like to nominate Sean Denny.
Okay, any other nominations for Vice President?
Madam President, in the spirit of bipartisanship, I nominate Tom Chevlot.
Okay. Sean Denning, Tom Chevlot. Any other nominations? Seeing none, nominations are closed.
Be sure you check your box on your ballot. Okay, what do we do? We're going to go in order on the agenda.
Yes.
This is for the redevelopment commission.
Thank you, ma'am.
You have your counter on?
No, this is for the redevelopment commission when we get to it on the agenda.
No, you'd save yourself a lot of time if you just gave us all four slips.
I should, but I'm always afraid someone's going to.
No, right on. Just combine your way.
Okay. Get yours. 9 votes were cast, 7 for Sean Denny and 2 for Counselor Chevlot. Counselor Denny is the vice president.
Okay, congratulations, Counselor Denny.
Thank you, and as you said, thank you for your confidence and looking forward to this opportunity to serve the residents and the citizens of our city of Lawrence.
Thank you. Next, we have comments of council members and special recognitions or resolutions. Do we have any?
Madam President, I have one. I think I had mentioned it before. It was about the arrestee transportation agreement with the Sheriff Department. Could we get an update from that from the police department?
Sure. Chief Hoffman's in attendance, so he can come forward and give us an update. Thank you, Councilor Freeman. That's a good follow-up to a very important issue.
It is. My staff and I and the other chiefs and mayors of the excluded cities and towns met with Sheriff Forrestal a couple weeks ago, and we were informed that the wagon transportation services for prisoners in the excluded cities was going to cease due to the opening of the community justice complex on the southeast side, which will include all of the Marion County courts, new jail, processing center. It's a fairly massive project down there. I don't know if you've been paying attention to it. It's, I think, around $530 million. And according to the sheriff, will require 200 employees of his office to secure all the judges, the prosecutors, juries, and all the things that they have to do in addition to securing the jail. The sheriff advised us that the expectation was that his office would continue to provide security at the city-county building on Alabama Street, which is where the current jail and courts are located. There will still be a need for security there. The sheriff told us that his hands were very much tied because of a lack of funding and a lack of staffing. And the only place he could pull employees was from the wagon drivers and those deputies who provide security at Eskenazi Hospital for arrestees. Obviously, that's a big deal. It's a big deal for IMPD, who are in the process of hiring civilian public safety officers and purchasing wagons. IMPD has advised the excluded cities and towns that they cannot and will not provide transportation. So we actually held a press conference expressing our concern about this without pointing fingers or placing blame, but just a very concerning situation. The sheriff, after that, decided that he would provide transportation services for the arrestees in the excluded cities and towns if those arrestees were wanted on warrants or were actively being arrested for a violent crime. Violent crime, there's about 29 of them. It's defined by state law. those offenses have to have been committed, and then he will dispatch a paddy wagon or a prisoner transportation wagon to the scene of that arrest. That gives us a little bit of hope and encouragement. He also, it's kind of a handshake agreement, but he said if we have a prisoner or a detainee who is actively fighting, kicking, screaming, or if they are a biohazard, in other words, life juices and spit or whatever, urine, defecation, those kinds of really awful things, that he would allow his jail wagon drivers to transport them as well. So we got a little bit of relief in that sense. The sheriff also said that he would guard any of our prisoners who require admission to Eskenazi Hospital, but the run-of-the-mill, kind of what I call the patch-em-up injuries, stitches, for example, if an arrestee can walk, the sheriff will pick them up at Eskenazi and transport them to jail, but he will not guard them during their procedures. So that's something that we have to be prepared for. Now, a city like Lawrence, we will have between 7 and 8, sometimes if we're lucky, 9 officers working. Usually it's right around that 7 mark. So if we lose an officer to the downtime associated with prisoner transportation, that I think it compromises the safety in our city, and I'm hoping that we will have some relief on this issue as future see how I can say this correctly. As it unfolds, hopefully we're going to get some relief from either the mayor's office in Indianapolis, the city controller in Indianapolis, the city county council, and the sheriff working together and taking us, and by us I mean excluded cities and towns, into consideration, because we really were not part of any of the discussions. So we did refurbish our 27-year-old paddy wagon that we do have in the city of Lawrence. It is parked in our Sally Port where it's warm. And in the event that we do need to transport our own prisoners, and we have that option as well. So that's kind of, I think that's the update as best I can provide it right now.
And that's effective 1/1, right?
That was effective, January 1st at 6 in the morning. So I'm just kind of nervously waiting to see how this is going to unfold. I've encouraged my officers to really focus on custodial arrests where there's some serious law violations in progress, and to issue summons arrests, in other words, a promise to appear in court when they can. And they've always been really good about that anyway, especially during COVID. So 2020 was a game changer, obviously, in terms of how we interact with our citizens. So, yes, ma'am. Do you have a question?
Go ahead.
Foresee us as law hiring practices? Do you foresee that you may have to hire some officers?
Well, I've been arguing that we do, for a city our size, with our citizens and our calls for service, we do need more officers. And every chief is going to tell their councils that. And I understand that. But if you look at those ratios, we are understaffed. I don't know that this one issue is going to allow us to hire more personnel, because it's roughly $100,000 in salary and benefits for every single officer. And when you hire them, you have to be prepared to maintain them for at least 20 years, sometimes longer than that. So it's a very big, serious commitment to expand staffing. Mayor Collier hopes to be able to do that. I know the controller is behind me here. He's hopeful as well. As you know, has a lot to do with revenues and expenditures in the cities and what we can afford here in Lawrence. I know we have a lot of new residents moving into our city. And those residents require public safety services, not just police, obviously, but fire and EMS. So the city's growing. We're going in the right direction, and I hope our public safety agencies can grow as well.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief Hoffman, for that update. Any other comments of council members and special recognitions or resolutions? Council Whitfield.
Madam Chair, thank you. I would like to take this opportunity to thank our first responders for the commitment to keeping and responding to our community. We are still in a pandemic, and we're in a surge, and I don't think that we could continue without supporting them. And I just want to acknowledge the work that they have done in the past and continue to do. Understanding we have not hit the surge for the holidays, I just want us to make sure that your staff and our firefighters and everyone are secure and taken care of. So I want to acknowledge that.
Thank you. Any other counselors? Okay, seeing none, next on the agenda is approval of minutes of regular meetings, December 6th and December 15th, 2021. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Motion, Counselor Freeman.
Second.
Second, Counselor Wells. Any discussion? Seeing none? All in favor by show of hands? Motion carries unanimous. Next, we have signing of vouchers, approval of claims, and authorization of payment. Is there a motion?
Madam President, I'll make the motion.
Motion, Counselor Denny.
A second.
Second, Counselor Freeman. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor by show of hands? Motion carries, unanimous. Next, we have reports of committees, finance.
Madam Chair, the Finance Committee hasn't met since our last council meeting, so there's nothing to update.
Great, thank you. Code,
Madam Chair, there's nothing to update. We haven't met since the last meeting.
okay, thank you. And we will be seeing probably some invites for those two meetings sometime in the next week or two, I'm sure. All right, next we have unfinished business, proposal number 10, 2021.
Proposal number 10, 2021, introduced by Counselor Wells, a proposal for an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of Lawrence, Indiana, amending the Lawrence Municipal Code regarding requirements for city towing providers.
Okay, proposal number 10 remains in code. Next, we have consideration of council appointment to the Lawrence Plan Commission. That continues to be tabled. As a matter of fact, I'm probably going to have that removed.
Just remove it.
And yeah. Next, we have resolution number 20, 2021.
Resolution number 20, 2021, introduced by Counselor Denny, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Lawrence, Indiana, providing funding to the Inspire program.
Okay, that remains in finance. Next, we have resolution number 21, 2021.
Resolution number 21, 2021, introduced by Counselor Denny, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Lawrence, Indiana, providing funding to the Laundry and More program.
That remains in finance as well. Next, we have resolution number 22, 2021.
Resolution number 22, 2021, introduced by Councilors Rosa Moroff and Wells, a resolution providing funding to the Action Club of the Kiwanis Club of Lawrence.
That remains in finance as well. Next, we have resolution number 23, 2021.
Resolution number 23, 2021, introduced by Councilor Chavis, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Lawrence, Indiana, providing funding to Arts for Lawrence.
That remains in finance as well. So resolution number 21, 20, 21, 22, and 23 remain in finance. And just for the record, we are looking at putting in place a grant process for this funding. So more to come on that. Next, we have new business. Consideration of council appointments to the Redevelopment Commission. Nominations are now open.
I would like to nominate Melissa Swindle.
Okay.
Madam Chair, I'd like to nominate Cheryl Sullivan.
Okay. So we have Melissa Swindell and Cheryl Sullivan. Are there any more nominations for Redevelopment Commission? Okay, hearing none, nominations are closed. Please cast your votes and check the box and print your name if needed. Boxes, we need 2 votes.
Oh, okay. Thank you, dear.
I can't get it to stop. Turn that phone off. I just wanna. Deborah. Just wanna.
Yes, ma'am.
I keep writing 20.
Yes, so for clarification, there's 2 appointments to redevelopment commission. So if you need to have her hand you back the ballot, that's fine.
It's not clear. Sorry.
That's okay, we got a lot of ballots going on, so.
All right. I understand, so we vote. Next one's 3. Okay,
No, it says
No,
2.
it says vote for 2.
so there's 2 openings.
Yes.
Thank you for clarifying.
Sorry. Okay.
Mayor appoints we
There were 9 votes cast for Melissa Swindle and 9 for Cheryl Sullivan.
Great, thank you. And thank you, Ms. Sullivan and Ms. Swindell, for your willingness to serve. Okay, next we have consideration of council appointments to the Fort Harrison Reuse Authority. And we do have 2 appointments to the Fort Harrison Reuse Authority.
Madam President, I would like to nominate Russell Brown, please.
Okay.
Madam President, I would like to nominate Karen Horth Powers.
Any other nominations to Fort Harrison Reuse Authority? Seeing none, nominations are closed. Please cast 2 votes, if you so choose.
Second one. Was Russell Brown, who was the second one? Oh, Karen Horth Powers?
This is U3. Yes.
Nine votes were cast for Russell Brown and 9 votes for Karen Horth Powers.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Brown and Ms. Horth Powers, for your willingness to serve. Next, we have consideration of council appointments to the Board of Zoning Appeals. We have 3 nominations, 3 opportunities to vote. Our nominations are now open.
Madam President, I would like to nominate J.D. Masur, please.
Who is it?
James Masur.
Madam President,
Yes.
I'd like to renominate Desmond Woods.
Okay.
Madam President,
Yes.
I'd like to nominate Trace Yates.
Okay.
Madam President, I would like to also nominate Faith Alvarez, please.
Okay. Any more nominations? Seeing none, nominations are closed. Please cast your 3 votes.
Those first 2 names. Got that one. Tracy Yates, I got that one there. Ivy, oh, that's right, he had that weird name.
Ready?
This is for the alternate.
Got it.
But if we have a second ballot, then I have a second ballot.
Okay. Okay.
Extra ballot for busy. Okay.
Okay. That all right?
That's pretty good.
Okay. 27 votes were cast, 9 votes for James Masur, 2 for Desmond Woods, 7 for Trace Yates, and 9 for Faith Alvarez. So Jim Masur, Trace Yates, and Faith Alvarez are the 3 appointments.
Thank you. I see Mr. Masur in the audience. Thank you, sir, for your willingness to serve, as well as Ms. Alvarez and Trace Yates. Thank you so much. Next on the agenda, we have consideration of a council appointment to the Board of Zoning Appeals alternate. You vote for 1 alternate.
Madam President, I'd like to nominate Shale Carey.
And spell that for Kathy, please.
Chelle, then Carey is Carey.
Thank you.
CHELLE.
That's correct.
Okay.
Any other nominations for alternate?
I would like to nominate Desmond Woods.
Okay.
Maria did. Maria did.
No, that was Council Russell.
Russell.
She nominated Desmond Woods. Any other nominations for alternate? Seeing none, nominations are closed. Please cast your vote for 1 alternate.
9 votes were cast, 7 for Cheryl Carey and 2 for Desmond Woods. Cheryl Carey is the alternate.
Congratulations, Ms. Carey. Thank you for your willingness to serve. Next on the agenda, we have comments of the administration. Hi,
Thank you. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
So I just want to take a moment real quick to introduce Humphrey here. So this is my Deputy Controller, Humphrey Nagila. Given my class schedule next semester, Monday, Wednesdays are pretty tied up for me, so you'll be seeing him a little bit more. So just kind of be on the lookout for his face at some of these meetings. He's going to get real comfortable. And then a couple things, there's 2 things I want to touch on. One is he'll be here to help answer some claims questions, and then one of the things to go over on those is kind of a refresher for us as well, is our goal is to make sure that we have those to you guys at least 5 days in advance, just so you have enough time to review those as well, and review them, and if you have any questions, to ask those as well. One of the things for us is we're going to make sure that we're primarily focusing on the finance and accounting aspects of these claims. So how something's paid or what the process was followed, so like bidding and stuff like that, we'll have those answers. If, especially with Humphrey here, if questions get a little bit more detailed, what we're going to do is just direct those to department heads, which I think makes the most sense. So a good example is like LPD bought flock cameras. I kind of have a general idea of what those are, but I think if we were trying to get into how they work and their main purpose, it's going to be most appropriate for him to answer those. But how we paid for them, I could, obviously cover that. So generally speaking, that's kind of just a quick touch on the claims. We want to make sure that we get you guys everything you need to make informed decisions and all of that. So we look forward to 2022 being an exciting and I'm sure challenging but eventful year. And then lastly, one of our goals, we kind of were spitballing ideas, is starting in 2022, we're going to start providing quarterly financial updates. So I will kind of reach out and get you more prepared for those, but just be on the lookout for stuff like that. So
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
yeah, thank you.
Welcome, Humphrey.
Thank you.
We've seen your face around, so. Any other comments of the administration? Okay, seeing none. Next, we have citizens' comments. Okay, thank you. We're adjourned. Thank you. Be safe. Enjoy the rest of your evening.